Chris, it's Mom. Look, honey, I've got a lot of work to do, so I won't be home until late again. Just do the usual, you know, fix yourself a little something, anything you want. Oh, and I left some money for you on the counter. Use it for whatever you like. Now, Dad won't be home until Tuesday. He says hi. Oh, and somebody told me you quit soccer. Is anything wrong? Well, just leave me a note. Love you. Bye.
How do you keep up with the world's fastest land mammal? Sarah Durrant knows. In the Serengeti, cheetahs are an endangered species. They have to contend with tourists as well as murderous lions. How do these elegant predators survive against all the odds? Find out in The Cheetah's Tale. The cheetah is the world's most elegant predator. It is also an endangered species. Not as powerful or as solidly built as a leopard, the cheetah is the delicate, graceful wild cat. Here, in Africa's Serengeti National Park, the cheetah is a predator reliant on stealth and speed. Famous for being the fastest land mammal on Earth, the cheetah hunts by day, unlike lions and leopards. It lives on the open shortgrass plains as well as in the Serengeti's woodland areas. The cheetah's lifestyle is as complex as it is fascinating. This attracts human interest. Zoologists and Serengeti filmmakers focus in on the beautiful cheetah. They join park staff and a single veterinarian as the human cast in The Cheetah's Tale. Cheetahs don't live easy lives. If any larger predator finds cheetahs feeding, it won't hesitate to barge in and steal their catch. Large numbers of vultures can alert other predators to a free meal. Traditionally, it was believed that cheetahs are solitary animals, living a nomadic existence. Adult female cheetahs live alone in the Serengeti. But cheetahs can be found in twos, in threes, and in exceptional cases, even sixes. Why do cheetahs fight amongst themselves? Their timidity towards other predators is well known. A minor injury could prevent the cheetah from hunting, and it would die from starvation. Even if cheetahs cooperate in hunting, they will squabble over food. cheetah behavior is very different from the Serengeti's other big cats. Someone anxious to find out why cheetahs are so different is cheetah researcher Dr. Sarah Durrant. Working for the Institute of Zoology in London, Sarah's task, together with her assistant, Joss Milner, is to learn all they can about cheetah behavior. Cheetahs are not only the subject of Sarah's research, they are also her passion. Sarah identifies cheetah individuals with a photographic card index she has created and refined after painstaking research. Cheetahs also seem to behave very much like domestic cats. All kittens play, and cheetah cubs are no exception. Grooming removes parasites and keeps their fur waterproof. Mothers give birth to up to 6 cubs. Few survive to adulthood. The cubs will stay with their mothers for 18 months. For the first 8 weeks of life, cheetah cubs are vulnerable, but their mother is compelled to leave them while she hunts. If cheetahs are such gentle and attentive mothers, what is the reason for such explosive violence? Cheetahs' lives pose many questions. Sarah intends to find the answers. Her first task is to find a cheetah. Very few of the animals have radio collars. Aerial surveys over the Serengeti are necessary to pinpoint those individuals. And it's a big park. Over 5,700 square miles, bigger than the state of Connecticut. Antennas mounted on each side of the light aircraft help Sarah to home in on the cheetah's signal. This particular cheetah with one young cub is dangerously close to the boundary of the national park. While still hunting prey within the park boundaries, the cheetah is protected. But once outside, the odds are stacked against natural predators. Outside the park, a Maasai warrior will not think twice about using his spear, chasing off any animal that even threatens his precious cattle. These animals' calves are tempting prey to cheetahs. Next to their children, cattle is the most important part of Maasai culture. Sarah's aerial survey has helped her find a place in the national park where lions and cheetahs are uneasy neighbors. She will need to do a ground follow-up. Because of the sheer size of the Serengeti, cooperation between researchers and filmmakers is common. It is important to the success of both parties' work. Sarah has contacted cameraman Gil Dom. Gil is filming lions and cheetahs under supervision of renowned producer and cameraman Hugo van Lawe. Joining Gil are Sarah and Joss, who can explain the behavior of the animals. It's a rare chance to observe and film cheetahs who live in close proximity with their larger relatives, lions. Gil has found a male lion patrolling the boundaries of the marsh. Territories are all important to both lions and cheetahs, but lions are much stronger than cheetahs. Sarah is concerned. The lion pride in the shade of a nearby tree is very close to the marsh, usually an ideal location for a cheetah mother to hide her cubs. The cheetah mother is unaware of the lions, and as she leaves to hunt, her two cubs hide in the long marsh grass for safety. She takes a moment for some refreshment. Hidden by the long grass, the cheetah cubs stay still and very, very quiet. An ominous shape catches Sarah's eye. The cheetah mother's drink is brutally interrupted by a chilling sound. Her plaintive calls are ignored. The lioness is far too powerful for her to challenge. The lioness's attack has been swift and absolute. Sarah can only dutifully record the cause of death and the identity of the bereaved mother. Sarah's feelings for lions are greatly affected by their murderous behavior towards her beloved cheetahs.
Lions kill cheetah cubs, and they also will go for adult cheetahs. It doesn't make me feel particularly well disposed towards them, and particularly if you see a mother just after she's had her cubs killed, it's pretty difficult to feel particularly positive towards them. That's an unfair judgment on lions. You can't sort of put human judgments on an animal, but at the same time, you are involved with the animals you're working on, so you do feel human things because you're a human. But you have to sort of distance yourself from it at the same time.
Sarah's research has led her to theorize that the reason for this behavior is territorial. The logic is simple. The fewer predators to feed in your territory means there's more food to go around. 90% of cheetah cubs die before the age of 3 months. Lions and cheetahs also come into conflict on the short grass plains. In the Serengeti, predators have to maintain a territory where prey is likely to be available. Studying cheetah territories is one of Sarah's most time-consuming tasks. As part of this area of study, Sarah conducts playback experiments. Lion roars played back to cheetahs in their own territories. Making sure her vehicle is distanced from the loudspeaker so the cheetah doesn't confuse Sarah with a lion, Sarah will carefully note down the cheetah's reactions. The cheetah's exact location is noted. Individual cheetahs react to lions in different ways. Some hardly react at all. It may sound like a lion, but it doesn't look like one. Sarah has found a mother and 2 cubs. The parent, named Spot by Sarah, is to be played a lion roar. It seems as if Spot has heard this before. Her cubs, though, are inexperienced and are taking no chances. Spot won't let them wander too far from her. The cubs reacted swiftly to a possible threat. This means they are less likely to become prey themselves. Sarah can now judge if the cubs stand a strong chance of making it to adulthood. Violence in cheetah life isn't only served up by lions. Sarah has identified a coalition of 3 cheetah males. They have picked up the scent of a neighboring female. With self-assurance brought on by numbers, they investigate. But the female isn't alone. Her terrified brother watches as the gang approach. The 3 go straight for the brother. Having subdued him, they turn their attention on the female. She is not ready to mate with them. brother intervenes, the three intruders won't hesitate to kill him. But a cautious sniff tells the intruders that she is not fully an estrus. Eventually, they leave brother and sister alone, but they'll be back. To avoid competition from lions and leopards, cheetahs hunt by day. Exceptional eyesight is not enough. Cheetahs need vantage points. Using trees and termite mounds is usually enough to spot prey. The best vantage points are the rocky outcrops in the park, known as koppies. From these perches, cheetahs occasionally see very unusual things. Producer-cameraman Hugo van Lawick has been filming Serengeti wildlife for 35 years. Some of that wildlife will inevitably get to know you, too. This curiosity is charming, but makes filming a little difficult. How can you hope to make a film with your star standing on the roof of your filming vehicle? Sarah has had similar experiences. But this time, this curiosity makes identifying the individual a lot less difficult. Sarah's vehicle is often used as a vantage point by some of her less timid cheetahs. What they're looking for is in abundance when the wildebeest herds start giving birth. Having satisfied their curiosity with Hugo, the coalition now concentrates on something less frivolous: food. The advantages of teamwork are clear. A sub-adult wildebeest may be too strong for a cheetah to kill on its own. With two, it's still an effort. Hunting is made more difficult by an element of life in the Serengeti that is becoming increasingly more damaging to the cheetah. Tourism. People come to the Serengeti from all over the world to see wildlife in their natural habitat. It is ironic that the presence of tourists sometimes impedes the cheetah from doing what they are so anxious to see. A tourist vehicle can distract a hunting cheetah just enough for its prey to escape. Sometimes, just the sight of a tourist vehicle can scare prey out of the area. This makes surviving on the plains very difficult for the cheetahs. Here, they are highly visible and no one would say no to the experience of seeing cheetahs up close. This human enthusiasm can be a little overplayed. It's one of Sarah's principal concerns.
If you want to come to Africa, it seems to me one of the most important things you can see here is the cheetahs in their natural environment and their natural behaviours. And if you're actually going up too close, talking too much, not paying any respect to the animal, then you're not going to observe its natural behaviour. So your whole experience is actually wasted. And I think it's really an education problem rather than an absolute problem at the moment. I think tourists and tour guides need to be educated in order to behave a bit more responsibly towards cheetahs and to encourage self-policing. Okay, of all the carnivores, cheetahs are the most susceptible to tourism because they hunt during the day. They occur in open habitats, and if you obey a few simple rules, then cheetahs shouldn't be affected at all. I mean, I'm here and I'm observing natural behaviour of cheetahs. She's not looking at the car at all. That's true of any tourist vehicle as well, providing it's a little bit more careful in the way it approaches the cheetah. Things like drivers driving between mothers and cubs and separating mothers and cubs, drivers driving straight up to cheetahs on a kill, fighting a cheetah off a kill. If a cheetah leaves a kill, there's no way it's going to go back to that kill. That's a meal wasted for the day.
Here at the gateway to the Serengeti is park warden for tourism, Betty Laboki. Betty controls all tourist activity in the park. She is responsible for maintaining facilities and for the collection of the all-important revenue that helps to give the park and its wildlife a viable future.
Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fine, good afternoon.
How's your tourism going? Are
Very
you still
fine.
very busy?
Yeah, we're busy, but the season is going down as
Yeah, well,
the migration is about to leave now.
Right.
Yeah.
But her duties aren't all administrative.
States to meet you.
Hi.
Hi. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Very nice
You?
to meet you.
How was your safari?
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Wonderful. We still have a lot to look forward to.
Did you enjoy on
There
the
are
way?
many important rules and regulations to obey in the national park.
This is Navigate.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
And I think Jose, our driver, is an old friend of yours.
Okay, vipi?
Salama.
Za siku.
Nzuri tu, habari za kazi.
Both her friendly nature and enthusiastic approach to her job make her the ideal choice to remind visitors and their drivers of these rules. Betty has trained for her role.
Recently, I went to the United States of America. I was sent by the park management. It was mainly to expose me to the tourist management activities. They liked me so much. The fact that I was a woman dealing with wildlife management in Africa, they were really amazed.
Well over 70,000 people pass through these gates annually. These include overlanders in their huge vehicles, crossing the whole of Africa on jaunts lasting several months.
We're definitely going to see lions.
Lions, definitely.
Yeah?
As when the migration starts, then they go along with the migration, so you are likely to see them.
Do they stay away from the tents?
Yeah, they keep away.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Curious about them.
Are you going to camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
We're not afraid.
Say what or not.
There are tourists who may have saved up for years just for the opportunity to experience the Serengeti. What they manage to see is largely a matter of luck. But when you're lucky in the Serengeti, the experience lasts a lifetime. In the woodland, a cheetah bears down on its prey. If it fails to catch its quarry within 300 yards, it will need half an hour to cool down. Cheetahs are blindingly fast, but only over short distances. When close enough, cheetahs usually trip their prey with their dew claw. Once down, the cheetah is swift to cut off the prey's air supply. Because they are always wary of potential intruders, the gazelle is dragged to a more secluded spot. Woodland areas provide some cover, but even 5 cheetahs would desert a kill if challenged by hyenas or lions. Cheetahs are not the only animal that tourists may see in the park. The variety of wildlife on show is breathtaking. An expanding tourist industry needs to cater for people and vehicles. Despite the attraction of a seemingly unspoiled wilderness, roads have to be built. The practical problems of finding and transporting the machinery and spare parts are hard enough. This is Africa, and excavators and trucks have to be brought in from the nearest large town. As all motorists know, roads pose very real dangers to wildlife. Once built, they become just another part of the animal's environment and are treated as such. It is difficult to anticipate an animal's behavior under any circumstances. Bat-eared foxes live in holes close to roads and are primarily nocturnal. Hearing the approach of a vehicle may frighten or intrigue them. The speed limit in the park is 30 miles per hour. It's not an easy rule to obey. Investigating this roadkill is the Serengeti veterinarian.
I'm Melody Rolke Parker. I'm the veterinarian for Tanzania National Parks. In fact, I am the chief veterinary officer for Tanzania National Parks. And I am the first veterinarian that they've had for 20 years in this country to work on wildlife.
Yeah, it does look like a roadkill, doesn't it? Well, you never know, though. Sometimes these animals just walk down the road and die, but this animal certainly looks like it's had some trauma. Yeah, look at this. It's got blood in the ears.
The primary goal that I'm trying to do here in this position, and I've been here about 2.5 years, is to establish what are the major problems that are afflicting free-ranging wildlife populations.
You'd think in this pristine environment animals wouldn't have to contend with getting hit by cars. But even on a road like this, people drive too fast, they don't pay attention. Oh, gosh.
Together with her assistant, McGindy, Melody will need to confirm that it was a roadkill. If the cause of death was something more complex, like a disease, then that's when her diagnosis becomes part of the animal's survival process. The unlucky fox is taken back to her lab in Saranara, a small community of scientists, tourists, and park staff located in the middle of the national park.
Okay, why don't you get the scale?
I'm not working on the individual injured animal, but looking at the population-wide big picture questions and what are the problems these animals are facing, and what potential things can managers of wildlife do about some of the diseases. Are they due to crowding? Are they due to poor management of the lands? Are they due to exposure to domestic livestock coming onto the lands? These kinds of things that have major impacts or have the potential of causing major impact on the tremendous wildlife resource that Tanzania has. I think this kind of work is vital to the resource that's here in Tanzania. And because wildlife is such an important resource for the people of Tanzania, for tourism, for the wildlife populations throughout the country, I think this work is vital, and we really need to keep it going.
17.5.
Being a vet in the wilderness demands total commitment and dedication.
Seth, do you want to take a look? Yeah? Okay.
Bringing up a family as well is part of that commitment.
You can see something in there.
I see round things.
I think it's far better what I can give him here than in most daycares in a sterile environment with the kids having no contact other than lots of other kids. Here, I'm with him virtually 24 hours a day. He goes in the field with me, he helps me, he learns about anatomy and physiology, he learns about geography, maps, lots of things. The one thing he does not get here is lots of companionship with other little kids. And I think that is probably the most damaging. But in terms of exposure and the things that I can share with him, I think this is a great, great experience for him. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Melody's laboratory is still not finished.
Building a facility in a remote area like this is not trivial. Every single piece of formica, piece of hardware, every handle for every cabinet has to be brought in from a long way away. The hardwood that you see is all been hand-planed, hand-sawn, a lot of work and a lot of effort. We hope that, in fact, this lab will be functional within a month. I mean, we're almost there.
Looking after her own offspring is a Thompson gazelle mother. The fawns grow up swiftly on the short grass plains. They have to. The gang of three is back in the area, and Sarah's on their trail. An easy catch, but catching and keeping are two very different things. As the rest of the gang move in, so does an uninvited guest. Sarah has learned that cheetahs lose 13% of their kills to hyenas and lions. A second attempt is made. It's a larger meal, but eyes from above have seen it too. Consummate scavengers, vultures let the predators do the killing. While the mighty lappet-faced vulture is last to arrive at a kill, the more common African whitebacks congregate first. These are the vulture's impatient foot soldiers. Time is running out for the hungry cheetahs. At least the gang of three have had a chance to eat, rushed though it was. In the wild, a cheetah's hunting ability is probably instinctive, but like most endeavors, technique has to be learned. Sarah is following Spot and her two growing cubs to see if they're paying attention. boisterous cubs can also scare off prey. There is little point perfecting your stalking when your spring-loaded offspring can be seen for miles. Spot flushes out a hare and lets the cubs loose. An experienced hare may be able to outwit two greenhorn cheetah cubs. But their mother is another story. See how easy that was? To the victor and the victor's novice cubs, the spoils. Accuracy in Sarah's research is all important. Cheetah behavior is monitored step by step, right down to the actual physical position of the cheetah at the exact time. It's a painstaking job, but for Sarah, who once spent her vacation watching cheetahs for fun, it's no trouble at all. It is only by understanding cheetah behavior that we can lay the foundations to ensure the survival of the species. Back in the air, Sarah returns to the edge of the park to monitor the radio cheetah's progress. Thankfully, she is still alive, and so is her single cub. Eventually, a helping jaw succeeds in gently lifting the cub. Much to Sarah's relief, mother and cub wander back to the relative safety of a wooded coppice. This is good news for Sarah, whose affection for these animals is strong. On a nearby coppice, two of the gang of three are getting restless. There is a familiar scent in the air. Flying back to base, Sarah sees the reason for the excitement and hurries to witness what very few have ever seen before. All three make their move, but can Sarah get there in time? The gang of three surround the female, but this time, it's not violence on their minds.
I've seen a few unusual things that cheetahs have done. One of the most amazing things was I was lucky enough to witness a mating just last year between 3 males and 1 female. The 3 males were a trio of males that were holding an area out on the short grass plains as a territory, and the female was in her wet season range on that territory. And I managed to find sort of 4 heads poking up out the grass and stayed with them and saw a mating which is very unusual. It's quite rare to see cheetah matings. All the males piled on top of the female, all 3 of them, so they're sort of these stacked cheetahs, one on top of the other, trying to mate with her. The 3 males then stayed together with her the next day, and then 2 of them left, and another male stayed and mated 3 times after that. That was a very unusual thing to see, and it's very interesting to see that.
Witnessing cheetahs mating is not a sight a tourist could expect to see. Opportunities like that only come to those dedicated enough to spend their lives researching their beloved animals. Sarah is certainly one of these people.
I think Serengeti has to be one of the most amazing places in the world. It's vast, and it's 13,500 square kilometres. It's an enormous area, and you have a real sense of space to live in a place like that. I just fell in love with the place the first time I saw it, and I mean, I'm very lucky to be able to live here and to be able to work on cheetahs.
Sarah has made the Serengeti her home and the neighboring cheetah population her friends. We all do what we can for friends, and Sarah's work may tip the balance between losing the cheetah from the wild or having it removed from the endangered species list. Let's hope that Sarah's work goes some way towards saving the cheetah.
If you're out there and there's just you, 1.6 million wildebeest, a few cheetahs, it's an amazing experience to just be there in this incredible place, completely on your own and completely isolated. I mean, it's amazing.